Toledo's Fox Sports 1230. And Shaggy, which station are you claiming to be from?
Oh, all of them.
All of them?
1370 WSPD is where you primarily know me from.
Sitting in for the extremely ill Johnny D, so we wanted to stay on.
Poor dude is just vomiting buckets.
Everywhere.
Buckets.
He sounds awful, and he's wearing a Michigan ski hat, so we can't have that because his team almost choked one up to Purdue on the road the other night. And don't take them far in the tournament. I'll give you one victory, maybe. Ooh. Johnny, I hope you come back and watch this. I wanted to talk about college basketball in general. I've mentioned before, potentially on this little video that we do, that I've lost interest in the game over the last few years. I haven't watched much of anything outside of the last few weeks of college basketball because we're ramping up. There's drama. We got the end of regular season. We've got conference tournaments in the next weeks and then the NCAA tournament. I ran across this this quote last night from Seth Davis from CBS and SI, and it's something I've always thought, and I think it's a big reason why I have lost interest in the game. Like watching the Michigan-Purdue game the other night, like, end the game! Time out! Overcoaching. Here with Seth Davis' quote. All right, coaches, I'll make you a deal. You get one timeout per game. That's right, one. In return, I will remove all, and I do mean all restrictions on how much you can work with your own players, spend as many hours with them in the offseason as you want, and you can start holding practices as early as you want and for as long as you want. Will you sign? It's a pipe dream. The NCAA dictates practice time. Yeah. It'll never happen. But I am all for finding a way to speed up the end of college basketball games.
Basketball in general, but especially college basketball. You're absolutely right on this front. You got the 5 timeouts throughout the game, and on top of that, if it's a close game and they start playing the foul game at the end, oh my goodness! You could be 8 points ahead. Virtually have the game locked. The other team is doing everything they can, whatever strategy they can to win, but you're in a situation now where you've got a minute on the clock, 45 seconds on the clock, and it's going to take 5 minutes to get through it. 7 minutes to get through it. It's going to take forever as they foul. Then they call time so they can get substitutions in. It's a nightmare scenario at the end. It's not exactly if it's a close game. If it's a 1 or 2 point game, they'll go back and forth. If it's like a 5 or 6, 5, 6, 7 points, suddenly it just becomes the worst slog ever.
I had a friend who was a big Michigan State fan, and he was pretty close to the program. When I had this discussion with him last year, when I told him I just couldn't watch the games anymore, no matter how competitive and how close or who I was rooting for, who I was hoping to win, whatever, he's like, no, man, it's part of the game. I couldn't take it. It shouldn't be part of the game. I wish they could change it, and I know it's just part of the college basketball culture in the game, but I think you'd maybe bring in more fans, some fans that have been turned off like me who, unless you follow high school recruiting, you don't know who the great players are because nobody's sticking around. You've got to recycle and figure out new names year after year after year. Just spitballing here, and I'm sorry, I haven't done as much research as I had hoped. We whipped this together real fast. We got a fill-in host today. Here's what I would do. I would create some kind of restrictions, like within 2 minutes, like you're only permitted 1 timeout. I would even create this type of penalty system where if you're in the double bonus, meaning if you foul the other team, you get 2, they get 2 shots. I consider adding possession. So while you leave strategy in the game, you've got to be a little more careful about it, and maybe the games can end quicker.
They've got to accomplish something to make the end of. I mean, you're seeing me in this hockey sweater right now. Okay, they got a lot of crap for having ties in the game, so they come up with the shootout. Okay. A lot of hockey purists don't like it. Right. No, ties are part of the game. It is what it is. But for the average fan, the shootouts are phenomenal. I remember the first time I took my wife to a professional hockey game. It was the Detroit Red Wings and the Columbus Blue Jackets down at Nationwide Arena. They go to the shootouts. Detroit wins after like 4 or 5 rounds. Hockey purists are tearing their hair out saying, this is terrible, why are you doing this? It's a skills competition. My wife says, that was amazing! That was a fantastic game! I wish they would have won at the end. It was like having sex, except it was just bad at the end of it. So, next week they went to a shootout again, they won. It was even better. You gotta do something. You've gotta do something to pep up the ends of these games, because that end of the game could be exciting. If they come back, they make those free throws, they'll suddenly you're in a buzzer beater 2-pointer or a 3-pointer situation. Suddenly, that game is the best game in the entire week. But the slog to get to it is too much.
The back and the forth, the timeouts, the TV timeouts, the substitutions, you're right. Any kind of drama is stunted by the lack of momentum with the stoppages over and over. So if you can come up with something, a good idea like I tossed out there, in the bonus, you get possession with your foul shots or 1 timeout per 2 minutes. You can come back next week and answer us. or we'll be on the air next week. We'll find a way to fix this.
We'll figure this
You
out.
and I together will fix college basketball.
You and I, brother.
Johnny D will be back. It's Shaggy from all the radio stations. Eric Chase from Toledo's Fox Sports 1230. If you have a suggestion, or if I'm a flippin' idiot,
More like me.
you won't be the first person to call me that or tell me that I'm not sure you want to yell at me. By all means, just be ready to argue intellectually. At Eric_Chase on Twitter. You want to pimp the Twitter?
Yeah, at Matt Colby is my personal one. I really don't like to throw that one professionally.
Edit out, edit out, edit out.
Hit me up anyway. Screw it.
All right, thanks for being a part of the Friday Face-Off on both our radio stations, Toledo's Fox Sports 1230 and 1370 WSPD. Bye!
Later.